like Ultralisk.
Yeah, Guns who hates Ultralisk.
Every time I've used Ultralisk, in almost every situation, they fail horribly, like really bad.
If you guys can probably find any amateur arrows that have probably every amateur arrow that has Ultralisk in them has Guns Akimbo.
Go and stop using Ultralisk. They're terrible.
Basically, that's basically it.
So this was really negative. Someone's been like, just try Zergling Ultralisk, get a surround on everything.
So, and this is my thoughts when I asked you to do this, which was basically, so we tried. Can you actually pause for a second because I feel under the gun?
No. Well, the upgrade's happening.
Oh, upgrades. Okay. So, it was like, what units didn't we try it? There has to be, in my mind, there has to be some unit combination of Zerg that's a good counter, cost efficient against Stalker and Colossus. And so we tried Zerglings, were really good against Stalkers, really good. So far, Zerglings were the best thing cost-wise against Stalkers, I feel like. Better even than the Hydras, I think, cost-wise. Because the Hydras obviously cost more minerals and cost gas. They still won, but cost-wise, I think the Zerglings were the best. So I was thinking to myself, what can we pair with the Zerglings to kill the Colossus? The real enemy here for the Zerg is the Colossus. And I was thinking, at first I thought it was going to be at first I thought that the Zergling and Corruptor was going to rape, and it didn't. It did pretty bad, actually. So then I was thinking, like, what can you possibly build that's better against the Colossus than the Corruptors? And I couldn't really think of anything. And so instead I had a different thought of, like, well, the Zerglings are really good against the Stalkers. But they don't have long enough to do enough damage because the Colossus kills them. So what's something that Colossus doesn't kill quickly? And I was like, Roaches die pretty quickly to Colossus. Hydras die pretty quickly to Colossus. Everything dies pretty quickly to Colossus. And I thought, well, what about Ultras? We didn't try Ultras yet. I was thinking maybe we'll try Ultras. We could try Brood Lords, even though that's kind of unrealistic. We could try Banelings. So the first thing I said is, let's try Ultras, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's pretty much, that's the reasoning here. It's pretty unsound reasoning. It's kind of like sloppy reasoning. Like, what doesn't suck more?
Yeah. Now, Ultralisk definitely still do stomp break shields, right? Because it doesn't say anything. They used to
stomp break shields.
You remember we talked about shields about
oh yeah, they're
force
massive.
fields?
They're massive. So
anything massive breaks force fields.
Anything massive breaks force fields.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was just like negative kept saying like, "You're gonna win this one. This terrifies me. I'm terrified."
Yeah, because I was looking, like, in my mind, I was looking at his army size and thinking to myself, wow, 160 supply of Ultra Ling is a lot of Ultra Ling. Like, just I had the feeling in my mind that that's a lot of stuff for him.
Yeah, and in my mind, I was like, I've done Ultras before against Stalker Balls, and they die before they really even get there. And so now we're going to see what happens.
And this is even supply, guys.
Even supply. With same upgrades.
Same upgrades.
Equal upgrades.
Three upgrades. Yeah. So, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's like, and that was the first time ever that I beat the ball quickly without micro.
I looked at Guns Akimbo over my shoulder, and his jaw was literally on the floor, actually, after that test.
Yeah, and again, I mean, that's, but this is also, this might not be micro intense, but it's extremely positional intensive.
Yeah.
Engaging without a surround, engaging on a ramp, engaging, in like a choke, that wouldn't go well.
No, because, I mean, if you have any place where there's Stalkers that aren't getting hit, and there's Colossus that are free to shoot from range at a small area of Zerglings, then you're going to lose. Like, going up a ramp would be bad with this composition. But one of the cool things about it is that it nullifies the Colossus. It doesn't counter them.
Yeah.
But it negates them somewhat.
Well, it kind of, I mean, once it gets to them, it counters them.
Yeah, they die quickly.
Yeah.
And they don't help, they don't tip the balance of the Stalkers against the Ultras. But the other cool thing about this is that if there are sentries in addition to the Colossus to support the Stalkers, that the Ultras will walk right over the force fields and cancel the force fields. So it's good against both the Colossus and the sentry force fields, which are the two biggest weapons that Protoss has to protect their Stalkers with these compositions.
I'm just trying to find that battle again.
It's a battle. It's the whole point. You guys watched for 2 hours.
Yeah.
For this.
You know, but it's also tough because this is still partially theory crafting in the sense of like, this is like you almost have to lure the Protoss into this situation of like maybe you have to build some Hydras.
Yeah.
You know, like laying in Hydra and secretly be taking to the Ultra path.
I mean, I don't know. I think enough Protosses default to this composition automatically against Zerg.
And they're not used to
And they all
Ultras.
use Stalkers as a core unit. And it's really just a matter of do they add Colossus or do they add something else? You know, I don't know, High Templar or something.
I mean, but there's different combinations too that would wreck the same thing of like replace the Immortals with a couple of Colossi with a couple of Immortals.
Oh yeah, I mean we were talking after this of like if the Protoss tech switched to Zealot plus Immortal, it rapes what you're doing here.
Yeah.
So you but the point, my point was that that's not really doesn't matter so much because previously there was nothing you could do against this.
Yeah.
No matter what you switch to. Now you can use this, and then if the Protoss switches, you can switch too. But it makes it more about scouting and less about what do I do against this.
Yeah.
Like you said, positioning is very important, like to be on creep, to be engaging defensively. And the fact that it's on creep I think is good for Zerg because it allows you to get the expansions you need to get Ultra. You can be spreading creep actively and basically using your creep as a place of like, if he comes onto my creep with his Stalkers, I'm going to engage him.
Yeah.
And get a full surround.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to watch out for like an Immortal switch.
And you have to watch out, again, like you're saying, just the moment you see the Protoss hit your creep, you need to act at that moment. Again, because, get these Colossi up on this cliff, pretty much get anything anywhere.
Yeah.
And this might not crumble, but it becomes an even battle.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think you're left in a pretty good position at the end here. I mean, I think you're left in a pretty strong, solid position if you look at the supply numbers afterwards. Because really, the problem is that if you, as Protoss, if you start targeting the Ultras, which is the only way to really kill them, I don't think you really kill any Ultras here, maybe that one. But if you start targeting Ultras, then the Lings will wreck you.
Yeah.
And you're left here, what's your supply count at the end here, right after? You're left with 97 supply. So that's pretty astronomical.
Yeah.
That's almost more than half supply left over at the end.
Yeah.
So really, I think the worst thing that could happen to you here is to switch to either Immortal Zealot, which is the soft counter from Protoss to this, because you can switch to. But, I mean, really the worst danger to you here is if the Protoss brings out, like, a bunch of Void Rays.
And then that's kind of, if you don't have your Corruptors out, it's bye-bye.
But, I mean, at the same time, that still makes it about scouting what the Protoss is doing, rather than just losing to the Stalker Ball.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, we just, really the point of this amateur, I guess, is I was, like, super excited to share this with all you guys. Because this is not what I thought would happen at all. Like,
a lot of these experiments went a lot differently than I imagined, because a lot differently than I'm used to in games, even.
Yeah.
Because the realistic scenarios of games doesn't give you the accurate picture always of what's happening and why.
Yeah. Totally. So I think we should end this pretty soon because it's gone on probably long enough already.
Yeah.
But I do want to issue a challenge. Now that we've like shown this, and we basically discovered just a few hours, like 2 hours ago ourselves, that this works. We want submissions from Zerg players of players using a good build order and transition that allows you to get Ultralisk Zergling against the Protoss late game and safely, so that you couldn't die to some sort of timing push.
Yeah.
So what we're curious, what we're talking about after this is such a gas-intensive army for the Zerg to build, that how does Zerg get this? So if you submit to us at amateurhour@starcraftorg, replays of you as Zerg using a build order that allows you to get to this point late game successfully against Protoss who goes Stalker Colossus, that's what we want from you guys.
Yeah, or even if you have alternates that work that we haven't talked about, that'd be cool too. Because again, there's not always one solution. This just happened to be the one conclusion we came to that really didn't involve anything except for unit composition.
Yeah, I mean, to me this was like pretty unexpected. Like in my mind I was like, I didn't think it would be close to that one-sided.
Yeah.
At all. Like I thought maybe it could work, but I had no idea in my mind that you wouldn't not lose any Ultras.
That melee units, that's purely melee units could rape the range units that hard.
Yeah, which just seems logical when you say it that way.
Yeah. Well, still, but again, even the fact that ultras get a little bit of range and can kind of hit over the Zerglings.
I think the key here was that the Zerglings can pass through the ultras, and that the ultras can get splash damage. And what's the bonus versus armor for ultras while we're still here? They get bonus 500, right? Yeah. So they get 21 damage normally, 47 damage versus armor.
And stalkers are armored?
Yeah. So that's part of the reason why this works, because they get that splash damage and the 47, almost 50 damage with upgrades to stalkers. So, yeah. Anyway, GG, I guess.
GG.
Hope you guys enjoyed this.
Yeah, and check out our live castings of that Child's Play fundraiser with to other guys.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say before we close? Since this is so long, people might not even watch this much.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll tell you guys more cool stuff next time.
Yeah. All right.
GG.
GG.